Chapter 550. Sword? What are you talking about, Jiraiya? How can there be a sword in this world with a blade length spanning several kilometers? Tsunade Haim's words are not unreasonable. The dazzling golden light that illuminated the entire night sky and easily pierced through the planetary sphere, whose radius is more than 100 meters, rushed unimpeded towards the sky as if piercing through the heavens, and is at least several thousand meters in length. Such a thing is obviously way beyond the concept and scope of being considered a sword, at least not in the conventional sense. Therefore, Tsunade Haim much rather call it Heaven Piercer or Heaven Splitter than just a simple so-called sword. Of course, Tsunade Haim wasn't the only one who was awed at the power of the so-called sword. The other ninjas of the great shinobi villages were also in a quite similar state. As their eyes adapted to the dazzling golden light, they all were taken aback looking at the unnaturally phenomenal scene in the sky and had incredible expressions on their faces. No way. This is the first time they have witnessed such an incredulous scene, so it's quite normal for them to be left dumbfounded. In fact, the normal shinobi weren't the only ones who were shocked. Even the Sandaime Tsuchikage felt his scalp tingling and can't help but mutter in a cold sweat, "Ju, just what kind of a jutsu is that?" Upon feeling the extremely powerful chakra fluctuations emitting from the golden beam or sword, and subconsciously flew to a higher altitude for a better and clearer view. Even if he is the longest reigning Tsuchikage, he has never seen such a scene before him. In fact, even the brief encounter with Uchiha Madara that left a deep shadow in his heart was not as unbelievable as what he is seeing in front of him. In comparison, Sandaime Hokage is still quite calm and is still able to think things through. After all, he who has witnessed the battle of the Valley of the End between Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara is no stranger to such inhuman and god-tier jutsu capable of piercing heavens and splitting seas. So compared to the youngins and the inexperienced around him, he knows more about the true level of power that some shinobi can acquire. Sandaime Hokage also thinks that it's really a pity that after the death of Shodaime Hokage, neither he nor any other Konoha shinobi reached such a level of power. Although Namikaze Minato perhaps had that kind of potential, however, Namikaze Minato died early. As a result, he didn't have enough time and opportunity to fully develop that potential. Anyway, that aside, the abnormal changes in the air also attracted the attention of the parties competing for getting hold of the two Jinchuriki and caused them to stop their movements. Madara looked at the sky with a thoughtful expression. Madara knew that Yama, the leader of Amatsukami, is an incredibly powerful individual, but he never expected that the strength of the other party would be so high. Black Zetsu's face was even more gloomy. If there is a jutsu in existence he hates most, then it is undoubtedly the Chibaku Tensei. After all, Hagoromo and Hamura use the very same jutsu with 6 path chakras enhancement to seal his mother Kaguya. And it's almost been a millennium since then, but there are still no signs of the seal breaking. Therefore, Black Zetsu simply loathes this jutsu, and the scene of Yama's jutsu piercing through the Chibaku Tensei made Black Zetsu witness something he has always wanted to see. That is, Chibaku Tensei failing. But it's a pity that the person who made it fail is not his mother, but Yama, a freaking enemy who has now started to become the biggest obstacle in his plans. So, Black Zetsu's current mood is extremely complicated. Although he is somewhat happy, he is also filled with raging anger and wants to simply chew Yama alive. Of course, nobody other than him knows his current mood because of his pitch-black color. And while Black Zetsu was inwardly boiling with anger, at the same time, Shisui, who was in the midst of constantly cutting off dozens of incoming wooden hands of the Kanzen Lotus King using his Susanoo, took a relieved breath upon seeing the sudden appearance of the dazzling golden light that pierced through the heavens. When Yama, who was fighting against Nagato, was suddenly imprisoned in the planetary sphere used by Nagato, Shisui's heart almost touched his throat. He was really worried that Yama would be trapped inside the Chibaku Tensei seal and wouldn't be able to escape on his own. So he was looking for the opportunity to get closer to the planetary sphere and drill through it with his drill sword in order to help Yama escape the seal. However, this damn Toby fellow wasn't giving him an opportunity to be able to do so. But now that Yama's situation is clear, and the fact that the Chibaku Tensei seal isn't working on him, Shisui was again able to focus on the battle, and decided to beat the hell out of this Toby guy. Fuwa, who has been sitting on Shisui's shoulder all this time, clearly felt Shisui's dark thoughts and giggled slightly. Of course, she didn't say anything to him, and continued to do what was asked of her. That is, to help Shisui absorb natural energy in order to stay in the Sennin mode. At the same time, Homusubi was also relieved by the appearance of the golden light and completely focused on the task assigned to him, which is to retrieve the two Jinchuriki. In fact, even when the golden light had not appeared, he didn't allow the ups and downs of his mood to affect his performance, and was constantly approaching the two unconscious Jinchuriki while bypassing all the hurdles that came before him. On the other side, Nagato looked at the sudden appearance of the golden light with an incredulous expression and couldn't help but flap his mouth open and close like a fish. Nagato's current mind is in a complete mess, and he just isn't able to comprehend the scene before him. How the heck is this even possible? The Chibaku Tensei used by Tendo Pain can directly seal not only Sannin-level shinobi, but even the Bijus and perfect Jinchuriki. So how come the Chibaku Tensei cast by himself couldn't even trap Yama for more than 30 seconds? Is it because of that golden sword? Is that golden sword capable of destroying the Chibaku Tensei seal from within? This thought suddenly emerged in Nagato's heart as he looked at the golden beam of chakra piercing through the heavens. He is no stranger to that golden beam of light. Although the golden beam currently in front of him is several times stronger compared to the one he saw Yama use in Amegakure, Nagato still understands the danger of the golden beam of chakra used by Yama. After all, he has personally tasted the horror of it. The golden beam of chakra used by Yama is capable of disintegrating things. Therefore, technically, it's not impossible for the golden beam of chakra to be able to disintegrate the core of Chibaku Tensei from within. But just because technically it's a possibility doesn't mean that one can really do it. And this is the primary reason for Nagato's shock. At the same time, within the giant planetary sphere... Damn, I almost became the second Kaguya, Yama muttered with a relieved breath. Even if it is him, he felt really frightened at the thought of being sealed within the Chibaku Tensei for who knows how long. The strength of the Chibaku Tensei seal used by Nagato has completely exceeded Yama's highest expectations. In fact, the Chibaku Tensei one used by the Tendo Pain in Konoha not long ago, when compared to this one, is simply a child's pediatrics. At the moment of being sealed within the Chibaku Tensei, almost nothing can be done, let alone molding chakra, even maintaining. And consciousness is almost impossible. It feels as if everything is frozen, including time, space, body, and also soul. Such a feeling is both horrifying and mortifying. In fact, there is also no feeling, just pure emptiness, where one can't even rely on his instincts, as they too don't function either. If hadn't been for his Tenseigan to be in the resonant state with the giant Tenseigan on the moon, Nagato's Chibaku Tensei would have surely trapped him inside the Chibaku Tensei with no means of escape possible, and that would have been the end of this battle, but fortunately that didn't happen. With the support of the giant Tenseigan on the moon, Yama was able to barely maintain his consciousness and used his strongest jutsu, Golden Wheel Reincarnation Explosion, which is capable of cutting the moon in half to destroy the gravitation core of the planetary sphere. With the gravitational core of the Chibaku Tensei destroyed, the planetary sphere is no longer as strong as it should be, so destroying it and escaping out of it now is a piece of cake for Yama. And Yama did exactly. At this time, the dazzling beam of golden chakra that was piercing through the heavens began to drift slowly. As Sanin Jiraiya said previously, the golden beam of light that is made out of chakra resembled a sword, even if its blade length is several kilometers. A kilometers-long golden sword drew a beautiful arc along the diametrical axis of the planetary sphere made by Nagato and instantly split it into two equal halves with an extremely smooth inner surface. Boom! The planetary sphere, which was cut into two hemispheres by the golden sword, fell towards the ground like a meteorite falling from the sky, and its mere approach towards the ground shook the entire battlefield to almost another collapse. In the face of such a mighty force, almost comparable to the horror of nature itself approaching them, even Madara and Zetsu didn't insist on it, and retreated using their own means. The retreat of Madara and Zetsu gave Homusubi the perfect opportunity he needed to take the unconscious Mizukage Yagura and Killer Bee in his custody. Of course, he would have to hurry if he wants to do so, because the two hemispheres are going to fall above them, which would definitely crush the lives out of the two Jinchuriki. But Homusubi wasn't afraid and immediately charged towards them without any hesitation. Aside from Sword of Totsuka, Homusubi also has the Yata mirror in his possession, and because he perfectly understands the powers of Yata mirror, therefore he has confidence in his abilities to be able to rescue the two Jinchuriki without getting injured by the two falling hemispheres. Back to the air, as the two hemispheres smashed on the ground, bringing forth another terrible earthquake of magnitude 10 on the Richter scale. The figure of Yama, holding the kilometers-long golden sword, was also revealed before everyone. In the dim night sky, with the bright big and white moon hanging behind him, the appearance of Yama wrapped in the Taiyan chakra cloak, holding the kilometers-long dazzling golden sword that can cut through heavens, was no different from that of a god and gave off a sense of elusive majesty to all beings beneath him. Seeing such a majestic being before them, everyone had more or less awed in their hearts. Even Nagato, with the rinnegan, wasn't an exception. And while everyone was awed as they looked at him, Yama himself was panting in the air and thought in his heart, "Chibaku Tensei is indeed worthy of being the most powerful fuinjutsu there is. A mere Chibaku Tensei, with just the rinnegan's chakra, is already so dangerous. It's no wonder that the six-path Chibaku Tensei can even keep Otsutsuki Kaguya, the current most powerful being in the shinobi world, sealed for over a millennium." At the same time, Yama was also thankful that he was not sealed using the six-path Chibaku Tensei, because if he was, then he would have already been done for. After all, six-path Chibaku Tensei is the most powerful yin-yang seal in existence. Even the likes of Kaguya can't break free of it, so there is no doubt that he, who has not even reached the level of six-path, would obviously not be able to break free of it. Thinking of this, Yama locked his gaze on Nagato. At this moment, Yama is no longer as calm as he was before. The Chibaku Tensei personally used by Nagato is too terrifying for him. Escaping at once was already a very difficult task, but if Nagato were to use this Fuinjutsu again, there's no telling whether Yama would be able to escape again. This is because Yama is clearly aware of the fact that his invincible state is short-lived and false, but Nagato's strength is real. The only reason Yama is able to overwhelm Nagato is because of the chakra of the giant Tenseigan. However, once the Otsutsuki clansmen on the moon cut off the connection between him and the giant Tenseigan, then Yama would have no room to resist. And now that the two Jinchuriki have almost been saved by Homusubi, the task is nearly completed. Therefore, at this moment, there is only one thought in Yama's mind, and that is to completely eliminate the threat of Nagato taking advantage of this short-lived, invincible state that is still active. With this objective in his mind, Yama did not bother to waste even an instant and directly rushed towards Nagato in the form of a blue streamer. Whoosh! While using the Tenseigan chakra mode, all of Yama's physical attributes are increased, especially his speed, which increases by several times. Moreover, currently, he is using the chakra from the giant Tenseigan on the moon, so the chakra reserves he has access to are almost endless. And Yama was not stingy in consuming these almost endless chakra reserves to further increase his speed, and appeared in front of Nagato before Nagato could even react. Seeing Yama standing in front of him, Nagato was startled. At this moment, he was still comprehending the information about the fact that Yama managed to break free of the Chibaku Tensei seal from within and escaped. Even if he is able to guess the reason why Yama managed to be able to do so, this fact is still a little hard for him to accept so easily. Therefore, currently, his mind was in a slightly turbulent state. As such, he couldn't react to the sudden appearance of Yama in front of him. "An opportunity," muttered Yama, upon noticing the shocked look on Nagato's face that was clearly not hidden from his Tenseigan. He obviously did not plan to let go of this opportunity that came to him because of Nagato's momentary stupefaction, and without any hesitation, he waved the golden sword to slash through Nagato's neck, with the intention of severing his head and torso with order to kill him in one shot. Puff!